Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is the Litzy. Tonight it is Silver Division Tea Time versus Game of Thrones. I'm joined today by Widowfaker. How are you doing?
I'm good, Litzy. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing great and ready to get into this match. So Game of Thrones versus Tea Time. We've seen these teams play before, but what are you going to be watching for specifically?
I'm going to want to see some team comps. I want to see two meta that's now coming back out with the introduction of role queue. I'm seeing a lot of teams really try and focus on that with, like, you know, the inability to play any of those 3-2-1s or the 3-3s. So I'm really to see a lot of great DPS plays, a lot of awesome ult combos. I'm looking forward to all of that.
So we've seen a lot of goats come from Game of Thrones before, and from Tea Time, it's been mostly 2-2, but they could bring something else out. And also, just the last time I cast it back in Monday, we saw a composition in the Plat division called Ambitious Immortals, where you only play one tank, and you essentially have Doomfist playing the role as the main tank. It was very weird and very interesting, and a lot of fun to watch. And apparently, there's been some rumors. We'll see it today. We will see how that goes. So it looks like our first map is going to be Busan.
Go ahead and get started.
So Busan control map. You have to take the point and hold onto it until you reach 100%. And there's a lot of really interesting ways to go about holding that. Do you hold forward towards the enemy spawn? Do you even fall back a little bit? Or do you hold directly on the point? And there's also a lot of interesting ways this map in particular can go.
Agreed. There's a lot of weird angles you could take in here. Once you cap the point, there's a lot of different places you can use to defend it. And then also when you're trying to cap the point again, there's a lot of different ways that you can go and really force the enemy team to rotate out of a potentially better spot. So we'll see what happens here. But we have Anna Goats and 2-2-2. Let's go.
This is pretty interesting. We get to see a little bit of the old versus the new. Well, kind of new. We're just going to go ahead and say new. Soon to be required.
It's reborn. It's what
reborn.
It is. Reborn is a good way.
That's a good way to put it. So, seeing how this looks like, we are actually going to get a pause. I assume there is a disconnect and we'll be
Probably.
getting back to that. I mean, you didn't pause it, so
I did not.
there
Oh,
it
yes, we
is.
have a DC on the
And
side of
Brolica
Rose. Yep.
already throwing the game. It did not take long.
It did not. You are correct.
Hopefully, they'll be getting back pretty soon. We'll be able to get back to the game. So, looking at this composition, what is going to be sort of the
Well,
win condition for each team?
if Anna plays passively and smart enough to let her team really do all the work with Anna Goats, it's so strong because of that nano, because of the anti-nades, because of the sleeps. We really have to go from there. But I think definitely having Wizzy in good positions, which she's a great Anna. She really is. She's done a lot of work. She plays a really good job. I think as long as they keep that Ryan really like solid and healed, they'll be fine. But also on the enemy team, we do have that McCree, which is going to be deadly to that Reinhardt. He gets a good flashbang on, and McRight clicks him, and then left side Zarya bubbles him. He's going to have a lot of problems, but stress should be pretty high charged for this whole match with that. The Moira's going to do a lot. The Zenyatta's going to do a lot. So, but it looks like we have Umbralica back, so let's go ahead and unpause.
Also, while we're getting back into the game, thank you, Berkey4, for gifting 5 subs to the community. Thank you very much for that. And now we're going to start getting into these things as they both start approaching the point.
I got a sub.
So now it looks like we're going to be seeing them fighting up towards the drum. Lots of close quarters combat here. That is going to benefit Game of Thrones. That Goat's composition thrives in close quarters. But right now, the picks are not reflecting that, where G-Time is picking up 2 picks here. And we'll see if that continues. It looks like it does as they take out Umbralica and Stressed. They're going to begin taking the point and start moving towards it.
That Zenyatta door score was just absolutely deadly there. Ryan was just able to get melted immediately, and even though Wizzy was doing her best to heal him up, once that Ryan died and once that Brigitte died, Goat just kind of falls apart. I would like to see them swap here. That amount of damage on the side of Tea-Time is really going to mess up their Goat's comp, unless they play it perfectly. And now pushing back in with it is going to be a little difficult.
They're going to be working to try and get some ultimate charge here, but with 2 instantly falling, doesn't look like they're going to be able to do that. That's 2 of their supports down. Another tank, their last support. Sway trying to get out using the boosters to do so. Stressed, taken out on the back end. It looks like Sway is very possibly going to get staggered. Yes, they do.
A big stagger, but not too much, thankfully. I do hope that they take this advantage to go ahead and swap, but it doesn't look like they're going to. Maybe just use the Shatter. They do have a lot of good ults coming up. Perhaps they can use those to take the point back, but once T-Tai comes back in with all those ults they have, they're gonna get deleted.
There are the Dragons. It is going to cut off Umbralica from the team, but they're going to be able to get back and start providing those heals and those speed boosts. Hammer down, goes straight into the shield of Darius. Darius was charged, is dropped pretty low, but able to get the kill onto Sadboy. Going to return a charge onto Ferret, take them out. So with 2 kills, with 3 picks now, they should be able to take the point as they start clearing up the rest of Tea-Time.
A really nice aggressive push from Game of Thrones there. They only used 2 ults to take that, and they did a really nice job of using that to advantage. They nanoed the Ryan, I believe, or no, Zarya was nanoed. And Zarya nano does so much damage when she's high charged, just deletes people. So really good smart plays there. But we'll see if we have ults getting used on the side of Tea-Time to take this back. They did swap off that Hanzo onto a Lucio of their own. And into their own Goats comp, actually.
So Goats versus Goats. There's the hammer down. It isn't going to be catching anybody, though. Right now, 3 ultimates on both teams. We'll see how they get used to either team's advantage. Sway knocked out of the mech, trying to fall back and get that ultimate so they can get that big robot goodness back. But with Darius down, no main tank for either side. A Sadboy is taken out as well. Both teams looking at the point, trying to keep hold of it. Game of Thrones falls back. There's a Transcendence to initiate this push, give the team the confidence, push forward. They know that they will provide as much healing as they need, and the point does go to Tea-Time.
That trans definitely helps them push in and take that point back, but unfortunately, they are not going to have an answer to Stress's grab. And with Wizzy so close to Nano, all she's going to have to do is Nano that Reinhardt, and 2 swings into that grab, and everything inside of it is going to die. So we'll see what happens there. Even if Crazy is able to shift out of that grab and do something with it, we'll see if Mac can maybe eat it here.
With 93% left, they're going to have to do it now. Graviton Surge is on both sides. There is nukes on both sides as well. Mac Attack and Sway both pick up kills. Sway's going to be getting the double, though, to give their team the advance in Game of Thrones. Singling out members of the enemy team, taking them out one by one. Just Crazy Lady left, trying to fade away. Will be doing so, getting away back to the team.
A lot of ults used on both sides. Smart ult usage from T-Time with the Moira ult to try and save her team without that trance there and without the barrier beat drop. But we also saw a variety of ults from the side of Game of Thrones. They're not really going to have much of an answer besides a shatter now to the enemy throws at them. We'll see if they can do anything with it.
As now gathering up in the corner, there's the hammer down, doesn't catch anybody, another 2 return, and that's going to be huge, knocking down 4 members of T-Time. Start swinging, doesn't look like anybody was killed by that though, as Game of Thrones is looking for an opportunity to get some kills, get some picks. There's going to be the rally coming out from Sniper Life to give the team more aggression. Darius actually picking up a double with the charge, a hammer down, going to be knocking Darius to the ground. The charge doesn't connect as Sad Boy is slept. Overtime is triggered 99-99. Whoever wins this fight is going to win this point. It looks like it is going to be Game of Thrones as they just clean up this last member on the point. Chi-Chi trying to do it. Will that be enough? Looks like there is also going to be a Transcendence to try and stall this point out a little bit longer. Chi-Chi is actually hit by the anti-nade, won't be able to receive any healing from that Transcendence. A hammer down to stop anybody else from getting onto the point. Sad Boy Ferret caught by the Graviton Surge. That is going to be it. We're going to be going to point 2.
Really nice aggression from the side of Game of Thrones. They took that They took that point back and they just held it. They refused to let go of it. They were down to, I think, like 2 people at one point, and they still held on to it. Really, really smart plays, really good use of space and aggression. As far as GOATs, they were really doing a really good job of supporting their Ryan to allow him to be the giant frontline damage dealer there.
So that is a very important part of GOATs. The keystone of GOATs is the Reinhardt being able to get up in there, being able to do damage along with the Zarya. It's incredibly important. Looks like we're going to continue to see GOATs from both teams as we continue on to the second point.
Wizzy, I also just want to say, was doing an amazing job there. She was getting really good nades onto her team to keep them burst healed, and then that huge sleep onto Sad Boy to protect her Ryan was really, really pivotal. Already anti-me.
And now putting out some heals for that front line. Darius Fulton dropping pretty low, going to get healed right back up. No, stunned and taken out. As this continues forward, it looks pretty good for the side of T-Time as they push back Game of Thrones, try to follow up on some staggers. Isn't going to find it, but they do find the point.
T-Time is going to want to be focusing Wizzy a little bit more than they are. Have the Diva dive in, even if she gets slapped. The Anna's now out of position, no longer to Ryan, and that's what they did right here. They made sure that Darius was not in the way sidelines of Anna, therefore getting easily deleted.
Lily, and now wanting to get into this fight. Darius looking for the opportunity, gets the hammer down to knock down 4 members of the enemy team. T-Time recovering, trying to get back, but they've already lost 2 members. Without those Brigitte Suns, will they be able to hold the point? Doesn't look like it. As Mac Attack is launched way back, able to get back into the point, though not for long. Taken out. The point goes to Throws.
Game of Thrones is also doing a phenomenal job of focusing one target at a time. I feel like I could almost hear their comms. Zarya, 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 Diva, Diva, Diva. Because one thing dies at a time, and they're all just circling that person like a swarm of bees. It's really, really amazing to see.
Like a bunch of angry ants climbing over their prey, and never underestimate what those little guys can do, as now Tea Time starts coming around the back, wanting to attack the point. Fire Strike goes out, doesn't seem to catch much. Darius Wolf is sitting on 82% on that Earth Shatter. There is the nuke to try and clear the point. A stun does hit Sad Boy, but the sound barrier is there to protect them from that nuke damage. Good coordination, though, as now a nuke from the side of Tea Time comes out. Mac Attack is going to be picking up a double kill. Darius at charge, not able to shield the team as well as they wanted. There's a Shatter to knock down 2 members. Sad Boy going to be picking up the third. The point goes to Tea Time.
Really smart plays by Mac Attack. He realized that Reinhardt had charged far away from his team and that Zari's bubbles were down. So he was able to just get a free, huge bomb there at those 2 kills, immediately just turning that fight right over to them. Really smart. Darius wants to be careful of that, really try and ult track a little bit better and realize he has to play a little bit more passively when there's a bomb up so that he can protect his team from it.
Hammer down, goes straight into Sad Boy's shield. Sound barrier to keep this side of Game of Thrones alive as they try to push forward. Will they be able to find the opportunity? We will see. Sad Boy is getting up in ult charge, sitting at 95%. We'll be getting that soon. We'll be wanting to use it. Does get it. Tries to use it. Gets stunned out of it before it lands. There's a nuke. Does catch Wheezy. So with no with no Ana, will Game of Thrones be able to stand with Darius falling as well? Looks like it won't be easy for him. Trying to get on top of Janon, won't be able to find it. Will have to retreat yet again. As we get close to 100% on this point. They just have one more chance to try and contest it. This goes to 99, 100%. No contest. The second point goes to Tea Time.
And we have another DC, so we are going to pause in between rounds. But I really would have liked to have seen Sway jump off the map as soon as she got DMX there. It would have given her the best chance to at least, get back there, get back to her team, even if she just ran away instead of using her bomb, just for a second, just to grab a health pack and throw it in there, just for a last second kind of contest. But still, really great plays. Darius wants to play a little bit more passively and ult track a little bit better, and therefore support his team in the way of the Reinhardt shield. But we'll see what happens when this pause happens.
Seems like there's some
bad juju.
There's some conflict over the team's composition choices. Chaotic Beats, in particular, wondering why on earth we're playing goats. Because 222 isn't here yet.
Because Eternal likes goats, so he tells his team to play goats. So everyone hop in Eternal's IMs and yell at him for making his team play goats. Because it's all his fault.
Game of Throws, more like Goats of Throws.
Goats of Throws. Honestly, Game of Thrones plays a really good goats. And with Lizzie on Ana, they play a very good Ana goats. She does a really good job of making sure she has good positioning. And the only time they really lose is when her main tank is not in sightlines of her. And that's a main tank thing. That's not a her thing. So really, it's a solid comp they play, but they also have such talented DPS on their team. I want to see them using those DPS, embracing the amount of damage that they can do with as a team. But instead, they're just going to run goats till they can't. I'm on Frost, and we're in another league that we do, kind of like an open division type thing. We do that, and we played our last game of goats, and we all agreed on it, and we'll never play goats again, no matter how badly we need it. We're just going to pull pork for the rest of our lives.
Well, it seems to be working pretty well for most scenes to be running the pulled pork and I mean the halt and hook, the fish in a barrel,
the yoink and oink,
the yoink and oink. That's a good one.
It's good. It's the best one.
And right now, this is a pretty even game. Last it was 99-99, a 148. But if Game of Thrones had taken the point, I wouldn't be surprised if this one had gotten to 99-99 as well, since we've seen Game of Thrones be able to hold points pretty well, though we won't be seeing it on this point. May see it when we go to Hangar next.
Yes, agreed. Hopefully we will see not goats. I'm ready to just type in chat that the admins told me that it's 222 now and just lie, just so I don't see goats, but I guess we'll be seeing that tonight. It's like Overwatch League Season 1. But
classic right, stressed back in the game. And we're going to get to go to Hangar pretty soon. And what do you think? We're going to see double goats again?
I mean, I hope not, but probably.
Stage 1 of Season 2, boys. Going at it.
Ready. Pulled pork. Okay, that is amazing. Bacon, where you been? Pulled pork, yoink and oink, hook 'em and cook 'em, all that stuff. That's really
Well, okay,
nice.
okay, hold up. The hook 'em and cook 'em is a
Retro.
separate thing. That's a different thing.
I remember the first time I heard Muso call it hook 'em and cook 'em, I was like, wait, why is this a strat and why is it amazing? Or no,
Oh,
my
man,
other
I
favorite
ran
one
hook 'em
is
and cook
the
'em all the
elevator.
time.
My other favorite is the
The
elevator. Anything with a
elevator.
jump pad, you just put like turrets all over it, and they just
Yep.
jump in and get deleted. I have a phenomenal play game of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we
Whenever I was
also-
introducing a new friend to Overwatch, I just had them play the Roadhog, and I played Symmetra. And
Just
they would
use
hook
them!
people, and then they would die. Like, okay, so your job is to see people and then press shift. Good luck. Now, we're going to get to see what these teams are going to be doing as double goats, as we expected. Both teams swinging at each other, but it looks like it's going to be a little bit of both. One thing to note is that Sway is playing the Sombra, so waiting on that EMP is going to be pretty huge for Game of Throws here. Not going to be charging it incredibly quickly, sitting at 36%. Darius was taken out earlier, but Game of Throws has been sustaining pretty well as they're waiting for that tank to return. As more members start doing so as well, they do pick up a kill onto Sad Boy. There is the Reinhardt charger, almost getting knocked over the edge of the map, but not going to be doing so. We'll be able to keep on swinging that hammer on the point, trying to get some damage out. Focusing on that Brigitte, not able to get the kill, taken out after being stunned. Maxac putting out a lot of damage, but there's a rally on the side of Game of Throws. Will that be enough help for them to stick through on this? There's a hammer down, but there's an EMP in return. Both so many members knocked down the ground weren't able to output the damage to capitalize on that EMP. Kept him alive for a little bit longer, though, as now Jaedong is wanting to use that rally. Going to be giving the team a lot of armor. Right now, we're sitting at 35% of this point. It's been a constant fight so far. Darius down. Will T-Time finally be able to secure the point and push Game of Throws back into the spawn? It looks like they're still wanting to stay on with Sway and Stress down, though. They may not be able to. Lucio is the next to follow, and Sniper Life, realizing what's going on here, does retreat back to the spawn.
I have a lot. That was a lot.
It was a lot.
There was a lot. I really wish that Game of Thrones would have backed up and used those ultimates when they were all together to just solid push as one team and take that. Instead, they poured a lot of ultimates into just more game percentage for the enemy. But I really like these positions that Sway is taking to get in here and get those hacks.
Does get a hack.
Huge.
Does get a hack onto Sad Boy. Won't be able to use that shield for a little bit. Just swinging the hammer. That is enough, though. Picking up a kill on Darius and the new coming out. No shield to protect, but that little bit of environmental variance does come up to protect Game of Throws. Hammer down. Does knock down two. Does get the charge onto Sway. And this is not looking good for Game of Throws as it reaches 96%. They have to take the point here. Remember, they've just sustained fights so long. There's really only been 2 fights this entire map. And because of that, they just haven't been able to take anything. A great hammer down. All 6 members caught, but nobody to engage on it. An EMP, but nobody to do the damage. And Brelica taken out as the last one. Overtime ticks down, and that is it. T-Time is going to be taking Busan.
Oh. They spent so many ultimates letting the enemy team keep that percentage going. They really wanted to back up there and just get one solid pull as a team. They staggered in and just used his ults one at a time. And it was so unfortunate to see. You know, Sway was getting her EMP in like a very fair amount of time, but unfortunately, there was just no follow-up on it at all. Darius was playing far too aggressively there as well, without the Ana back there to heal him up. And without that D.Va to help eat some of his damage, he really has to play a different kind of goats that way, and he just wasn't, unfortunately. So he was getting really good hacks onto the Reinhardt, but they weren't focusing him afterwards, unfortunately. But we will see what happens in the next match.
So, and T-Time was doing a great job managing their ultimates, making sure that they weren't using too many to shut down Game of Throws, and that allowed them to sustain that fight so well.
Agreed. Yeah, they were really just playing very smart there.
And now, while we're in this in-between time, we'll see if these teams can maybe adapt a little bit. What we may be seeing something besides goats. We may not. Looks like our next map is going to be Temple of Anubis, so 2CP.
Mm-hmm.
From what we saw of the last game, who do you think is going to benefit the most from 2CP?
It's hard to say because there's so many strong comps you can play that are not goats. You could play Orisa Hog or Orisa Diva here with like double sniper and just even pharmacy. There's so many strong comps you could play here, but I haven't seen DPS besides Sway play tonight. We did see the Hanzo and the McCree on the side of Tea Time, but that was about it. I want to see what happens when we do actually see 2 DPS going, or if we are just going to see more goats, which I hope we don't, because like I said, there are talented DPS on both of these teams, and they really deserve to have their time to shine instead of being locked in Brig Jail.
Locked in Brig Jail. That's a good one. Yeah, we'll see if that. I personally enjoy seeing Bastion defense comps on this, especially when you have a symmetry. You give that Bastion mobility, being able to retreat from the initial high ground if you get dived on, to then get up on top of the order building or get over onto the balcony can give you a lot of different options there. Do like seeing that, but can be countered, and looks like we are not going to be seeing that from the defense. Looks like it is going to be goats.
They are going to get deleted by this coming in from Game of Thrones if they play it right. Way, if she gets one good boop off, she's just going to have free reign to do whatever she wants. Nothing to counter except a diva. They don't have a Zenyatta to help out. She's just going to be in the air doing what she wants, and Sniper Life is going to be able to take those funny angles to get in there and really just lay damage into that Reinhardt and lay damage into that diva and Zarya. This comp is just going to really screw up their goats if they're not playing it super solid and not playing passively and rotating when they need. But see what happens. I'm excited. We got DPS, boys!
We do have some DPS, and that is a Pharmacy, and not much of a way to deal with it. You really need a lot of burst hit scan damage to take out a Pharmacy, and there is none of that on the side of Tea Time. Realizing that they can just get picked out by the far, they're retreating onto the point to try and create a closer fight. Now, wanting to engage on top of Game of Thrones here, they aren't able to do it with some hooks coming in. Stress is managing them very well. Does fall afterwards, and so does Darius with no tanks at all. Will Game of Thrones be able to take this point? Jaden is down, waiting to find another opportunity. Sway getting back into the air along with that Mercy Umbrella, making sure to stay right on there. And lots of damage coming out. Mac attack. Will they be able to get back into the mech? No. Is taken out by a Pharah rocket. Ferret hit by the anti-nade. Won't be able to get any heals. And dropping pretty low. Does manage to stay alive. Does get some heals. Going to be back up. There is the rocket barrage, though. Taking out Crazy Lady with no healing. That is going to be this point. Jaden is there to try and contest, but that can be a pretty devastating stagger here. And as they leave the point briefly, to get back on it.
Like, wait a second. That is a big sleep on a Mac attack as well.
If they can get a pick here, they can open up point B, and they do. Will they take hold of that aggression and push forward? Take that B point while they're waiting, while that Diva's waiting to respawn. It's like they are going to push forward, but not with maybe as much aggression as is precedented. But they are going to start moving forward. Sniper Life getting a kill on to Ferret with that Hanzo. That is pretty huge too. There's Sway wanting to come in from above a little bit. Does go back to the team. Hit by a hammer down the side of Game of Thrones, having to stand back up on their feet, but they do. And Sadboy is the one who's going to lose their life for that. Many members of Game of Thrones are very low, though. Sway especially being brought very, very low. Does get to Umbrella, is healed back up. There's the drag. It's coming out. Going to be completely sealing off that doorway. Sadboy back onto the point. Mac attack there as well. Wanting to contest. Watch out that soldier from behind. Chi-Chi wanting to do some damage against that Pharah. Isn't able to find the kill onto her, though. And is going to be dropped pretty low. Going to be staying alive for a while, though. No. rather, yes, is going to stay alive a little bit longer as the rocket barrage comes out. And just at 10 health, Chi-Chi does get the auto aim. It is going to be wiping the point, going to be holding it a little while longer. Not a single tick taken.
Really great plays on both sides. Tea-Time really just started to try and counter that Pharah, and eventually they found the niche that they needed. That Sad Boy on the hamster just came in and displaced them completely and made it so they were unable to get any of the healing they needed. They were out of place, they weren't together, they were just easy targets to pick off. Unfortunately, Sway did go ahead and waste her ult, as well as Stressed and Darius, but we'll see if they're able to charge those ults back up and make another solid push. Pharmacy is still going to be deadly if they can position quick, better, best enough to not get hit by these two hit scans.
As now that slow Orisa assault is moving the team of Game of Thrones towards the point. Will they be able to get there? There is the dragons, but appears to have been eaten. Not going to be seeing those two spiraling reptiles today, as now the mines come out in Game of Thrones. That entire walkway is blocked off. Won't be able to assault past it quite yet, as now they have to fall back. They have to wait for Darius to start moving forward. No, they do decide to take or start moving towards the point, as they do pick up a kill onto Sad Boy. They may just be able to do it, as well as Max Attack is missing. Now they're stressed, getting the halt and hook, getting the oink and yoink, or the yoink and oink rather. And looks like they are now using the whole hog to clear the point, wanting to get that first tick. Not able to get it quite yet, as the coalescence comes through. A bongo, though, to try and get that little bit of extra damage that Game of Thrones need. A great knockup by Sad Boy. Going to get knocked down, though, and killed by Sway, who picks up a triple kill with the rocket barrage. They're stressed, brought back. Transcendence to try and contest the point a little while longer. Sitting at 2 ticks, sitting at 88%. Not going to take much more. Gets to 100. That's going to be round 1.
I really want to give it to Sniper there. Sniper was just getting huge opening picks and really just giving his team the best case scenario to go in there and win fights. Sway was just able to do so much damage, and Wizzy was getting really great sleeps onto that hamster, really big antis onto that team in general, just doing a really great job of everyone was doing what they needed to make that fight winnable. Once they got in there and they pushed together and they weren't just kind of staggering and ulting one at a time like they did on the last map, they were able to just be so superior and just take over 1, 2, 3. We'll see if we see more Goats comp coming in from the teams on defense and attack here. But I'm hoping to see some more DPS coming from Game of Thrones, because I enjoyed me some Hanzo headshots.
We all do see, we all love seeing that wonderful little ping in the middle of the screen when Hanzo gets a headshot.
Oh,
It looks like we are going to be getting a bunker composition for this defense, and maybe for the offense.
Like
This is also pretty interesting with a Reinhardt and Orisa just going for maximum shields, trying to protect that Bastion. Will those shields be enough, though, against Sway on the Junkrat and Sniper Life on Bastion?
I think that both of those shields are going to get deleted pretty easily unless Chi-Chi's able to get a really cheeky teleport in there behind and get that Bastion up somewhere where he could just delete that Orisa and that oh my gosh, Diva. But they're going to have to play really smart here, but the DPS on the side of Game of Thrones are just so high damage right now.
See if they can manage it. It's all really going to revolve around Chi-Chi. Do they have some plan here to get a good flank? Looks like they're going to be looking to move through the left side here, through those doorways, to get out of that sight line. Already, barrier destroyed, and Chi-Chi taken out. Going to have to wait for them to come back. Maybe going for the res. It does do so, but costs 2, and Ferret is back to the grave.
Looks like we are not going to see any swaps here. There's exact same comp that we're running. I would very much like to see them be running a Diva instead of this Reinhardt. The Diva will be able to matrix the Symmetra long enough to get that teleporter up. But it seems like they're just going to keep running this double shield, and it's just going to get deleted. These pulls coming in from Darius are also really big, just yoinking them out of their safety and just doing what he wants to them.
With this Bastion composition, with any Bastion composition, you have to take aggression on your push. Put up your shield, get to where you're going, get your team there alive, but you have to move quickly. One way to do it is with a teleporter, but it gets taken out before anything can happen from it. And Sway is going to pick up the triple kill to send Tea Time back to spawn.
The best thing for them right now is to come from the opposite side. They're going to be able to get a teleporter a little bit more easily from a sightline there. Just if they get into that room. Just get into that room, and then once you're there, you're able to kind of assess what you're going to do next. It's a little harder to get a teleporter from the opposite side because of that, but we do see a swap onto the Pharah rather than the Symmetra.
As now, like I said, lots of different changes. Ferret going to be on the McCree as well. Will this be enough to counter that Bastion? Looks like Sad Boy thinks it will, but does get taken out very quickly, and there's the Riptire. Will be getting any kills so far? Not yet. Searching for some enemies. Does find Mac Attack, and Point gets a little bit of capture, but not for long. As Ferret trying to stay alive a little while, does get killed. That's going to be a pretty hard stagger.
They're going to be wanting to push as a team, absolutely. I would really love to see a Sombra here. The Sombra's going to do so much to just get in there, take the high ground, flanks through the Mega Room, and gets back up on this platform right behind them and just hacks that Bastion. They still have the Junkrat, but they're able to play, they're able to get through that choke. Right now, they're just unable to do that.
Absolutely, and they're just not able to get to that Bastion. Sad Boy taken out mid-jump, as now we get to 1 minute left on the clock. Even if they do manage to get onto the point and take it, they won't have a lot of time left to take B if they manage to get onto the point.
We do see that swap onto the Hanzo, but this dive can work here, but unfortunately Sad Boy is going in all by himself, and Mac is not following to Matrix to keep him up. He's not able to do that burst damage he needs. Oof, this is gonna hurt. But
that
really,
is...
Yeah.
It's actually going to be other members of the team picking up kills. Sniper Life actually only getting one with that tank form, but doesn't matter. Rest of the team was able to get on it as well, and they're also sitting on 3 more ultimates.
They don't even have to use ults to win these fights because Tea Time is just... They're just not playing smart here. They're not diving together. They're not using ultimates. They don't have the shield break that they need, unfortunately. But it looks like he was smart to dive to the bottom.
As now they do get onto the point. A huge dude from Stress lands perfectly. Going to be picking up a quad. Somebody clip that for the channel. That's going to be a full hold for Game of Thrones.
Oh gosh, that bomb. That bomb.
That was a pretty big bomb, and we get to see it again from Stress point of view. Look, it was just in the air, not much of a way to block it except for the Winston bubble was not up at the time apparently, and did a lot.
Amazing job. We have almost 10k healing coming in from Wizzy in an 9-minute game. 13, almost 14,000 damage coming in from Sniper Life. Just really good plays by Game of Thrones here, leaving us at 1-1.
So 1-1. Tea Time was able to take Busan by the skin. I mean, wasn't much at the end. Managed to take the last point 0 to 100, and that doesn't mean Game of Thrones was slacking. They managed to take Temple of Anubis with a full hold after a full take. We'll see if Game of Thrones or Tea Time are going to be able to tighten this out in the next 2 games after the break.
Devil in a red dress, call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress, call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang bang, got my hand, bang got my hand, call 911. killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand, bang, got my hand. Call
Hog one. Heals.
Coming back.
Nope, well, Teddy's popping.
Yeah, I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Tea Time versus Game of Thrones. It's been neck and neck so far. Game of Thrones is able to take Temple of Anubis with a full hold, but they did lose Busan to Tea Time. My name is Litzy, joined by Widowfaker here on Noombani.
Here we go. Noombani, our hybrid map for the night. Really excited to see if we're going to see goats or some more bunkers. I definitely want to see Tea Time running them. If they're going to run bunker, I want to see that Baptiste Mercy or Baptiste Zenyatta rather than the Moira. But let us see what happens, what these teams are going to play. Should be coming in soon. And, yep, we have bunkers on both sides.
That is This is going to be pretty fun. I love watching.
It's just good.
It's it can be a little bit hard finding something exciting to talk about with Bunker, but it is pretty amusing to watch, especially with the Torbjorn coming in. There's always that prospect of hammer kills.
Oh yeah, if I don't see a single hammer kill tonight, I'm writing a letter to the president. I'm getting a law made, hammer kills or throw. But let's see what happens here.
Yeah, if you play Torb, you have to get at least one hammer kill that game.
It's the law. It's the law.
Otherwise, you're out for the rest of the day.
But I'm really liking the comp that's coming in on the side of Game of Thrones. That May is going to be just wall them off and allow her team to free push through. And Sniper Life was doing such an amazing job on Hanzo last game, and we'll see if he's able to get those big picks when breaking down that shield.
But what that is going to take is team coordination. You're going to have to push all together. Will they be able to do that? We'll see, as a lot of them do take some damage, and that shield does fall very quickly. Stressed, getting burned down. No wall to come up yet from Sway to try and protect the team, as Ferret does take out the immortality field. Sway taking a lot of damage, going to be dropping into the glacier to stay alive. With Umbrella falling, the wall is just going to stall them out a little bit, and if they are trying to get onto the point, and that could cause a lot of stagger problems for them if one of them gets picked out. Looks like they are going to be staying alive for now, though, waiting for their team. Fugitives behind enemy lines, as now start seeing the tanks come back. Darius is going to fall, as well as Stressed. Because of that, once again, May and Ana caught behind enemy lines. Ana going to get picked out now. It's just Sway. Sway gets killed as well.
We do have big ults coming in from the side of Game of Thrones, though, with that Hanzo ult, which will have no answer besides the immortality, which if they can bait it, they can pretty much get a free dragon just to disrupt that bunker immediately. And also we have Sway, 70% for her freeze. Once that freeze comes in, it is just game over for the bunker that is tea time. But they are taking different positioning now with that.
Yeah, right now going to be setting up in the upper corner. The dragons do come in, and that does take out Ferret. Crazy Lady is going to go for the res, is going to get it, and Ferret is going to be wanting to set back up. He's going to be staying on the high ground and does ult. Going to be getting one kill with it already. Going to be breaking down that shield. Is hit by the anti-nade, though. No actual heals coming in from Crazy Lady. Hook comes in, but the anti-nade wears off. Able to get healed back up by that Mercy. So Stressed and Sway are both going to fall. Will the rest of Game of Thrones be able to hold the point? They have gotten one tick so far, but it doesn't look like they're going to be getting a second. As Darius is dropping very low, is going to be getting the healing nade, but it is not enough. Wheezy next to fall.
They are now, again, they do have that bongo and the May freeze coming up, as well as Umbralica's defense matrix, which will be absolutely huge if they can combo these together. Just drop it in front of your Hanzo or your Hog and go to town on these frozen enemies. If Sway is able to just get in on the side and behind them and freeze them, and it's going to be absolutely gigantic. With so many ults on the side of Tea Time too.
And there is a wall going to be going up and blocking that Bastion. Lots of damage coming in. Darius doesn't have a shield to put up. A Blizzard does go up onto that high ground. Does catch a lot of members. But MacTech does throw out the nuke. Does catch Sway. Darius having too many people to attack in too many different directions. Hit by the Nano Boost to keep them alive a little bit while longer. Will that be enough? Sniper Life does pick up a kill on the Crazy Lady and Ferret, but not enough to get the point, as Sniper Life is the last to fall. 27 seconds left and 25% to go on the point.
We do see that swap onto the Somber, but I fear too late. She's not going to be able to charge EMP unless her team is taking really long fights here. And with that Torb turret, it's going to be so difficult for her to get any hacks in. She is looking for that hack, which she got the Diva, which is going to be huge.
But gets taken out shortly afterwards, as the Amplification Matrix does go up. Dragons to come through. Not going to be catching anybody though, but does cause some confusion, cause some separation, which is going to allow Stress to use that whole hog freely, getting lots of kills with it. Chi-Chi is going to fall. Last one trying to contest the point is Crazy Lady, who does fall, and the point is taken in the nick of time.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, Jadon used his mortality field selfishly there, and chooses to keep himself alive and heal his team, which can be good, but in that sort of situation with the amount of ults being thrown into his team, he wanted to throw that on them and keep them up instead, but he was safe in that room. But a lot of ults obviously used on the side of Game of Thrones, and we'll see if they are able to use this again. Another big pick from Sniper. He's doing so good tonight.
With that soldier down, as well as Sad Boy, there are a lot of opportunities for Game of Thrones to push forward here. Looks like they are going to take that initiative, try to continue to take picks, open up the way all the way to the second point. Right now, just keeping Wheezy on the point. Multicore comes out, but they all bounce off the Orisa shield, not able to get to the team, as now more people are on the point. It is now moving forward at maximum speed. Chi-Chi getting halted, not going to be getting hooked. Now Sway trying to get in there, does get a hack on the J-Dog, but not before the Immortality field goes up. It does fall though. There are some dragons coming in, not hit by the defense matrix, and is going to be getting a kill onto Crazy Lady with a lot of heals now missing from the side of Tea Time. Will they be able to hold here? Doesn't look like it, as now the EMP comes out. Chi-Chi and Mac Attack both hit by it, as well as Sad Boy. Sad Boy also hit by the anti-nade, not able to stay alive then. Amplification Matrix comes out to try and output some extra damage into Game of Thrones. That does allow them to get the kill onto Darius, but now with Whole Hog coming through, doesn't look like they will be able to stand much longer. Now just Ferret and Crazy Lady trying to hold on to the point. They can't do so though, and the payload continues forward.
Game of Thrones just looking so strong right now. They're playing so smart. They're using ult really well. They're not overcommitting. We do have that swap off the Sombra and onto that Mei again, which is going to be gigantic. Mei is so strong these days, especially with this bunker meta. She's able to just really, you know, wall someone off and let her whole team use their Yoink and Oink meta to really delete things. But Darius is going to play really good space. Really good by the way they're playing.
There is the Hansabolt yet again, going to be splitting the side of Tea Time in two. And wanting to engage on that, Jaedong is taken out. Hammer down comes through from Sad Boy, catches three. Not able to get a kill with the charge, but is able to follow up onto Embralica. And that is going to be pretty good, as Wheezy is down as well. So no more heals except for Wheezy, who is coming back up, and Embralica coming back up as well. But will that be enough? Darius does get a kill on the Ferret, does fall in return. Payload is slowly moving forward as Sway and Stressed are both trying to hold on. Sway having to get into the Glacier. Stressed is holding on to that Take a Breather. We'll be able to use that to heal back up as Crazy Lady tries to go in and heal Jaedong, who gets taken out, as well as Mac Attack, both by Sniper Life, picking up a double kill. Does fall in return. There is the Graviton Surge. Nobody caught in it except for Stress right at the end there. Going to be using the Whole Hog to try and clear out the point, put out some extra damage, using Take a Breather as well to stay alive. Now contesting the point. Ferret and Chi-Chi trying to stay on there and keep it from moving forward. Jaedong now there to provide some support. Hook comes in onto Ferret. Ferret able to get out, hit by the anti-nade, but not enough damage follow-up in order to make much out of it. Halt. Pulling the members of Tea Time in a little bit, but not able to get anything off of that so far. Game of Thrones looking for an opportunity. There is a blizzard from behind the wall to keep them from escaping. Ferret and Jaedong both pop by, and there are the dragons going to be picking up a double Sniper Life. Now looking for more blood in the water for this Hanzo. Chi-Chi trying to get back, is actually able to use the Mei wall as cover a little bit. Mac Attack knocked out of the mech. It is now in overtime. They had to take this all the way to the end, but they may be able to though, as the bungos and the Amplification Matrix comes out, as well as the Nano Boost. The Stress putting out so much damage right now. Is able to take out Sad Boy, Mac Attack, and Ferret trying to hold on, as well as Chi-Chi. Will they be able to do it? Now Crazy Lady coming in to provide the heal, but you're going to have to get some kills onto this team. Game of Thrones staying alive. Too much healing, too much sustain as the payload slowly moves forward, but it's contested now. Sad Boy on there, charging in, not able to get a kill. Now the Coalescent to come through, but going to be frozen away. Crazy Lady going to get knocked out. Chi-Chi going to get knocked out. Mac Attack going to get knocked out of the mech. Payload is moving forward. 1 meter left. They are able to find it and take the payload all the way to the end of New Bonnie.
Amazing plays. I literally want to hold Stress in a bundle and like pet Stressed right now for doing so well. Did not die a single time after capping second point. And got, so what is that, 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes? Just not dying, just laying in so much damage. Sway and Stress literally just carried third points on their backs. Stress was doing so well of playing passively when needed to keep alive. Sway was doing such a good job of walling off to keep themselves safe and still contesting that point without dying. They were doing an amazing job there. I really have to hand this to them. Like, I already know my player of the match just from the way that fight was. Amazing, amazing plays there.
But we'll have to see if anybody can change your mind in round 2. Now, we'll see what the teams come up with is for the defense versus offense. So it looks like on the defense, we are going to be getting a Bunker Cop. No Torb this time, though. It's going to be Sway back on the Junkrat. Now, last time, Tea Time was not able to deal with this composition very well at all. Do you think they'll be able to take care of it this time?
With the Mei and the Hanzo, they're going to have more damage to deal with it. They're not going to be trying to run symmetric comps that aren't working. So we'll see what happens there. I hope they're able to do something for it, but unless Ferret is using those walls really smart, instead of using it to walk out, use it halfway through so you have a little bit of space and enough time to, you know. Mei walls are strong, but you have to use them smart. You can't just throw it up and then start walking. You have to start walking and then throw it up.
So, and
we'll
you
see,
have
it's
to
so
walk.
much damage.
You have to walk quickly as well as a team unit, and Tea Time has been struggling with that a little bit. Seems like they stagger a little bit whenever they're doing those pushes. Now, wanting to come up through the cafe. There's the Mei wall, going to be getting into the back area, a place to stage from as they try to plan their point take. Stress drop down onto the bottom area, onto the payload, as well as Sway as they're trying to output some damage. There's another wall again. Halt to bring everybody together, but right now Sniper Life is not able to put out enough damage. It's going to be Darius, though, going to be picking up a kill on to Sad Boy. Now caught inside of this room with no main tank, ripe for the slaughter. Ferret and Jaden both go down, as well as Crazy Lady. There's the Riptire coming in. Nobody's able to stop it. Chi-Chi taken out as well, and that is it. Mac Attack going to be staggered out a little bit here, as now Tea Time is going to have to reconsider their attack.
I really love the way that Tea Time played. They went right into that room and they denied that Bastion everything. He was completely useless where he was until they began to push up. I would have liked to see them go around and behind and take the corner of the point, because really Bastion can't do anything in that corner either. They would just have free contest and be able to delete that D.Va, who was doing a really good job of contesting that point and making sure that they weren't getting any progress. And let's see if they do the same thing.
I'd say get right on top of Whiskey there. Just get right into the sign, like Ferret is doing. That forces the Bastion off. Not able to find any targets to do damage to, but right now can find Sad Boy is able to pick up the kill there. Trying to find more targets as the nuke comes in. Going to be picking up a double. Stress going to be clearing the point there. Ferret and Chi-Chi trying to hold on. Ferret is halted out to take some damage from the Bastion. Hit by the wall. Still doing some damage, though, is able to find some onto Ferret, is going to get the kill.
And that is going to be a big kill onto that Junkrat, who is immediately getting wrecked. D.Va is also out of her mech, although she is a little bit more than the third of the way back to getting it. That is going to be hard with Tea Time pushing back in. With the ultimates they have, her not having mech is going to be so big. They're going to have a free freeze here. And really nothing to answer it with. Hopefully Wizzy is able to drop her field down and really do that extra damage on them.
Will Tea Time be able to engage on that baby D.Va and get the advantage on this point? Right now, staging up in Cafe. They're going to start coming out. There's a wall to block out the Bastion as they start moving up under the wall to deny Bastion that point, but it doesn't matter. The Riptire comes in and they were not prepared. There's the tank form as well. A Sniper Life is going to be picking up a kill onto Ferret. Mac Attack once again being staggered out. It's going to be able to get away, but it's still sitting without that mech.
Unfortunately, also, a lot of ults used on the side of Game of Thrones here. They did use both DPS ults, which are so game-stopping, and we do have the Moira ult, the Lucio ult, and the Mei ult on the side of Tea Time. If they're able to get a big freeze in here, they will win this point.
As now sitting on one tick, 1/3 of the point taken. You have 70% to go still, though. Ferret once again using the wall, getting it right up onto the top, getting up under the point. And there's the Blizzard, positioning very well to freeze out Sniper Life. Will they be able to get up there and do the damage? Fire Strike doesn't quite connect. Ferret not able to get up there as well. So now Sniper Life back unfrozen, thawed out, ready to deal some damage. Sad Boy trying to hold on to the point. One last final stand from Mac Attack, knocked out of the mech, going to be pushed off the point. That is it. Another full hold. Game of Thrones is going to take Numbani.
They really wanted to focus that Bastion once he was frozen. Unfortunately, they just let him just exist up there frozen. If they would have just focused him and taken him out, it would have been gigantic. Now we have Sniper Life deleting everything.
Doing such a great job. It's kind of stayed there a little bit. J-Dog maybe not realizing that they had been revived. It reminds me of the Patrick meme.
The Patrick. What's an aimbot? I can't.
What's an aimbot? Classic. But Game of Thrones, that does now bring them to 2-1. If they can win this next game, they will be taking the match of the day. But doesn't mean that is the end of it. Right now, Tea Time, they can even it up and bring it to a map 5, but it won't be easy to do.
And we are going to head into our last and final, well, hopefully
Could be.
not our final map. I would love to see a map 5. These are both really talented teams, and I'm enjoying watching them play, but we are going to head into Junkertown now, our escort map for the night.
So, I think looking at this, I'm afraid that this map does play into the strengths of Game of Thrones. We've seen such solid bunker comps from them using Bastion, and that can work incredibly well, and that can also transfer very cleanly over to Pirate Ship. So if they can get that Bastion onto the payload, they can take it incredibly far if Tea Time continues to not be able to deal with it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I did really like I said, the rotating and the movement of Tea Time. They just weren't focusing the Bastion. They weren't focusing that Mercy. They were just letting free reses and stuff like that happen. So they really want to make sure that they're not half-winning fights. They've been half-winning fights.
Ready for battle.
So they want to make sure that they finish off. They really are getting all those picks they need. But we do have, again, double bunker.
Double bunker. So this is going to be pretty interesting to watch, and a little bit of a different bunker coming up from the side of Game of Thrones. You don't have the Bastion, which makes it not as foxhole-y, bunkery sort of thing. Instead, they're just really focusing on that defense. But with Ferret on the Bastion, we'll see if they're able to sustain against all of that damage here on the defense.
And they are setting up on bridge, which I actually quite like setting up on bridge. It denies the enemy the ability to get all that damage in and really protects that Bastion in a different way. They're able to drop down when they need right off that bridge without having to rotate. It's really strong.
It also makes fewer sight lines from the spawn area, which gives that Bastion fewer areas to look at and to defend. Wall goes up to deny that Bastion a little bit of damage, but one of the blocks is quickly destroyed. Now, Darius able to get a shield up, but it's not going to stand for long. Mac Attack is going to go on the offensive, but a wall, once again, is going to give Game of Thrones time to freeze Hook, but not de-mech Mac Attack, as Mac Attack is able to fly away, maybe focusing down that Immortality Field and looking to get a kill onto that backline. Once to get on top of Weezy is slept, though. A res to bring Jaedong back up. Will that be enough? A lot of healing coming out. There's the Immortality Field as well. Jaedong is going to get killed, though. Sightline was denied to the Immortality Field, and so Game of Thrones pushes forward.
Stress is playing so deadly with these hooks tonight. I'm really almost interested to ask what their, hook accuracy is. It's almost like every time someone thinks they're getting away, Stress is like, oh, nope! And just yoinks them right back. The really smart plays by Game of Thrones, though. They're using that May to their advantage, those walls and those freezes.
is even right in the right skin for the get over here. Now, there is a nuke from Mac Attack. Isn't going to be catching anybody, though. An amplification matrix as well from Jadon. Isn't going to be finding too much, but Ferret up on the high ground is going to be picking up kills. Going to be taking out Wheezy and Stress. That is going to force Game of Throws back. Sway is trying to get out alive. Hit, right now inside of the ice block, not able to get a wall up in time, is staggered out.
Yeah, I really wish Sway would have almost fed a little bit there to just get back with their team. They have almost 6 ults on the side of Game of Thrones, 2 on the side of Tea Time. Big ult inside of Tea Time, don't get me wrong. Valkyrie is so huge, especially in bunker these days. Everyone's just doing so much damage, it's so hard to counter. But this freeze is going to be huge. Let's see if Mac can do his team a solid and eat it.
Sway falling in behind. Nobody seeing them yet. Throws the wall up first. That could be bad, as might have gotten sided out, but no, not enough response. There is going to be the Blizzard. Ferret, Mac Attack, both. Or Mac Attack taken out of Mac. Ferret killed. Mac Attack close to follow, though. As the rest of Tea Time falls, one wall to keep Sad Boy from falling back any further is going to follow up with the kill, and the payload reaches the checkpoint.
Really great teamwork there by Game of Thrones. The Mei was able to flank behind, throw that freeze in, and then Sniper was able to throw his dragons. Darius realized that the team was trying to run from it and hooked them back into it with his halt. Really just smart, good team coordination coming from Game of Thrones.
As now Game of Thrones wants to start pushing forward. There's the recon arrow to give a little bit of information to the team, leaving 2 people on the payload to let it push forward. The halt and hook doesn't quite connect, but there are the dragons. Is going to be getting a double onto both of the supports of Tea Time. But Hanzo Dragons in return isn't going to be finding any kills. Daria is able to barely get a wave. That is going to buy a little bit of time for Tea Time to start setting up their defenses. Ferret is able to get a kill onto Sway. Will that be enough? As now the whole hog, nano boosted, comes out and is doing a lot of damage. Is going to be clearing out this roadway and is going to allow going to allow them to get to the checkpoint.
Absolutely, they're really using their ults very quickly and very intelligently on the side of Game of Thrones. They're not using all at the same time. They're one at a time. They're just making sure the fights are won. I would almost have rather seen Wizzy hold on to that nano, though, however, to throw it onto a tank to keep him up in these fights. But we do have a swap from the Orisa onto the Reinhardt on the side of Tea Time. Maybe try and get a little bit more ability, do a little bit more, but we'll see what happens here.
You're trying to get on top of this enemy team, that mobile shield. Now flanking through the under area. There's the amplification matrix coming up. Will they be able to put out enough damage through it? Right now, looks like they're going to get caught by a Blizzard instead. 2 members caught inside of the Blizzard. The rest cut off from the team. Jadon taken out. Although a kill onto Darius Fulton does happen, doesn't look like that will be enough, as Sad Boy is taken out. Mac Attack is demeched and going to be followed up on shortly afterwards. As now just 4 members of Tea Time are left standing against Game of Thrones onslaught here, until some of them do start reviving, and we'll be getting back to the team.
Tea Time there didn't want to really play into that room. That's exactly what Game of Thrones wanted with that Mei freeze. Mei is so deadly in small quarters. They need to be holding up in the main path. Mei is not going to be quite as useful here.
Or just be ready with the defense matrix. Right now, it's going to be an Earth Shatter. Going to be catching many members, but caught inside of the Dragon. Sad Boy is going to fall in return. Mac Attack had engaged on it, had got right into the enemy team, but got knocked out of mech in return when nobody else could follow. Now hit by an anti-nade. No heals are going to be coming through for them, as Stress is once again using the whole hog to push them back. Now holding right at spawn. Jadon is going to be trying to hold, but can't get to the payload. That's going to be round 1 complete.
Score 0-3. Switching sides.
And
sorry,
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
continue.
No, I was just saying, I definitely probably would want to see Junkrat or something to really help deal with the pushes that Game of Thrones were making. Instead, Tea Time just kept trying to do different things. The Reinhardt definitely wasn't the call there. Reinhardt, although yes, more mobile, without that Zarya to help him and let him engage and stuff like that, was just not going to be able to do it. The Mei into a Reinhardt into a Mei is just the reason people don't like playing Rein anymore. But we'll see what happens in this next round here.
Not
Great
for long,
timing.
everybody. Keep in mind the PTR changes to Reinhardt and to Slows. Going to be pretty interesting how all those play out.
Ready for battle.
So, for now, right now, you got to deal with Reinhardt the way he is, which means we're going to be playing Orisa here, and looks like we're going to be seeing a pirate ship offense and a bunker comp defense.
Incoming in 30 seconds.
I like it. We'll make sure, we'll have to see then hope that Sway is able to play a little bit more passively because Mercy does have two jobs here. Between boosting the Bastion and boosting the Pharah, she is going to have to really bide her time and make sure. Pharah's going to have a rough time into the, into not only the Tor, but his turret and that Bastion. So we're going to see what Sway is able to do here if she'll swap onto the Junker that she's been doing so well on.
Even the Baptiste is able to put out a lot of pressure onto a Pharah, and we'll see if they can hold here. Now, Sway wanting to find a little bit of damage, but right now it's going to be all up to Sniper Life, putting out a lot of damage. Also kept alive by that Immortality Field. It is not enough, though. Ferret is going to be picking up the kill as that payload moves forward. Ferret does die in return. Amplification Matrix goes up. Ferret is revived. A Crazy Lady is going to fall in the process. Sway cannot survive against all of that hit scan damage, is going to be revived. Will that be enough? Right now, looks like it is, as the Rocket Barrage comes out, does get a kill on the Ferret, does die in return yet again. Now, just Darius trying to hold, trying to stay strong, as Umbrella is providing a lot of healing. Stress trying to get the mech back, is doing a pretty good job, is going to be getting it, and going to be trying to get back behind that shield. Now, Sniper Life is back up and going to be able to start outputting some damage, is going to be picking up a kill onto Chi-Chi and their turret, and going to be pushing Tea-Time back a little bit.
Game of Thrones doing a really good job here. Sway with that alternate positioning from the Bastion to just damage that team with so much damage. They were able to push, but they were nowhere near able to push as much as they would have otherwise, putting in so much damage into this team. And really, really good plays by both Imbralica, Darius, and Stressed there to really hold on. They weren't using too many ults, they were really holding what they needed. They were just using what they needed to win the fight, and that's just such good gameplay.
Absolutely, and it looks like they're going to be pushing Tea-Time way back into spawn. But you have to be careful not to overextend, as now it looks like Game of Thrones is getting the idea, making sure to stay right back on the payload, right back on the bridge. You're going to be trying to set up a defense. Sniper Life setting up on the corner for now. Maybe trying to output that bunker damage from here. Halt pulls a lot of members in. Not going to be getting a kill quite yet, although Ferret is dropping a little bit low. Is going to be using that tank mode, but it is not going to be enough. Nuke comes in to take out Ferret, as well as a little bit of utility and Sway. Going to be coming in for the double as well.
Really, really big smart plays here by Game of Thrones. They're just looking so superior and so strong here. They're working together as a team. They're rotating when they need. They're using ults really intelligently. Stress bombs have been gigantic tonight. All of them have had really, really great outcomes. We'll see if we see any swaps coming in from Tea-Time. I feel like they definitely need to do something.
As the bongos come out from Tea-Time, this might be their chance as well. The Amplification Matrix, Sniper Life is putting out a lot of damage, though, through an Amplification Matrix of their own. Artillery shells to take out the enemy. And it is going to push them right back into the spawn. 1 minute left, and so far the payload has not moved past the bridge. There's a ways to go yet.
Well, absolutely, but we do have the Valkyrie on the side of Tea-Time, as well as the swap onto dive tanks. A complete team swap besides the supports, actually. Chi-Chi should have been swapping way earlier to deal with this. I don't see Chi-Chi being able to charge up an EMP very quickly. I do like this flank coming in from Kree. Looks like he's changing his mind, though.
As now jumping on top of Sniper Life, Tea-Time is wanting to find the opportunity to do the damage, but that Immortality Field is doing too much. Rocket Barrage as well, outputting so much damage, is going to result in Sad Boy getting taken out by O.C.C. Sniper Life still doing damage, going to be taking out Jadon as well, as Tea-Time tries to hold on to the point with every last bit of strength that they have. having to back out a little bit, is going to be able to, for now, going to be trying to loop around behind. Going to be trying to find that Bastion, but now the Bastion is ulting. Going to be taking out Ferret. Chi going to be getting a hack onto Immortality Field, but will that be enough? Doesn't look like it, as Crazy Lady is taken out. Now Max Attack is back alive, but D-Max shortly afterwards not going to be able to take out Sniper Life thanks to that self-repair. Maybe able to hold on to the point for a while, though. Enough time for Ferret to come in and get the kill onto Sniper Life. But will one Bastion kill be enough to take the point? Looks like Sad Boy thinks so. Is going to be ulting, going to be bringing out that Primal Rage, trying to bat around the enemy team, but there's a nuke going to be getting a triple kill for the win. Overtime ticks down too quickly, and Game of Thrones wins Junkertown and the day.
Like I said, stressed in these bombs today, man.
Play of the game.
Oh my gosh. Such amazing gameplay. The swaps from Tea Time were good, but way too late. They needed to be swapping onto that after maybe a push. Unfortunately, just weren't answering what Game of Thrones was handing them. But such good plays by both teams. I really can't complain.
So it's been a close match, neck and neck. Tell us who you guys think really popped off in the chat while we start debating on our own. So, Tea Time were able to take the first map, Busan, but Game of Thrones took it the rest of the way, winning the next 3 maps pretty decisively on each one, being able to take the payload all the way to the end on maps with payloads, and able to take Temple of Anubis all the way and then full hold on each count.
Agreed. Really, really great plays by, like, just Game of Thrones just looking so good today. Just doing an absolutely phenomenal job. Using ults properly, playing together as a team properly. You know, just... They were just... You could tell they have such good coaching. Eternal's doing an amazing job with their team. He's really helping them play to their strengths and teaching them how to play with each other. Such a solid team in Game of Thrones. And Tea Time, I have to say, was not playing poorly either. Doing a really good job punishing overextension, making sure that they were, you know, getting picks, but Game of Thrones just ended up being more superior today. Just the tank line of Game of Thrones just doing an amazing job. Stress was amazing. The DPS, once they started playing them, just so good. Glad we got to see some 2-2-2 today. Love that for us, don't we?
Especially in a game with Game of Thrones in it. But now it's time to talk about MVPs. Chat has been blowing up, and I'm sure that we're probably thinking the same thing. But you start. Who do you think is the MVP of the match?
Stressed. Absolutely stressed. Stress was doing an amazing job on every tank that she played tonight, whether it was the Roadhog, the hooks, or just contesting for her life, just staying healed, doing damage, farming those ults, and then those Diva bombs, just so well placed, so good at denying the team any more push. Just amazing, amazing plays by Stress tonight.
And I think I am going to agree. Sway on the Roadhog and the Diva was able to get great bombs and great hooks. Really great sustain on Nubani as well, able to stay on the point along with Sway, who also did a phenomenal job on many different heroes throughout the match tonight. And I think that overall, Stress maybe performed a little bit more consistently at that higher level than Sway did, but like I said, it was all very, very good. And so, looks like Stressed is going to get a unanimous player of the match tonight.
And it does look like we have some people agreeing with Stress here. Stress play of the match, Stress play of the match. It looks like people seem to agree, absolutely. Stress was just doing a phenomenal job tonight, and I just really, really have to hand it to her. Just really, really good plays.
Absolutely. Now it is time for us to do our little sign off. First, if you want to follow us on social media, you've seen Nightbot putting it in the chat. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can follow all those at O.C.C Scrims. Also, if you want to join our Discord, check out below the stream in the panels. You can join just as a community member, as a team member if you're silver, all the way through diamond. And if you're above that or at one of the higher ranks, you can also coach a team and get one of these groups of players up to snuff, get them playing together, get them in sync if you think you can win one of the divisions. Also, we're always looking for more people to help us with production, whether that be game hosts, just making sure that the lobby goes smoothly. Pauses need to happen when they need to, due to technical difficulties or whatever. And commentators like Widowfaker and I here. Also, Widowfaker was doing the game hosting, so props to that. And so casters just talking, whether it be a play-by-play caster or a color caster, to make everything nice and fun to watch and to listen to. And we are always looking for more people to do the stream host. That's actually why we went live a little bit late today, was because we were looking for someone who is able to host the stream for us. So if you have a computer capable of doing that, we'll get you all those assets, get you trained up, and be able to run the stream, make sure all the camera angles are nice and juicy. I've been the Litzy. You can follow me at the Litzy at all the appropriate social medias, joined by Widowfaker.
I do want to quickly correct that Stressed is a guy. I confused that. My mistake.
That's why I always say them.
That is the best of you, but Stressed, you did absolutely amazing, my guy. So,
My dude,
jeez.
my home skillet.
I'm very sorry about that. My mistake. But yeah, again, great seeing you guys. Thanks for watching, and we hope you either join us or tune in next week.